Hello and welcome to programming. This is video number 20. In this video I'll show you the common techniques used in animation creation in Java Applet. It's an old technique to make the animation smoother, and I might add in a few techniques for that along the way, so I'll walk you through that steps. Let's get started. First, you need to create a new project. And let's name it AnimApplet. Click on next and finish. So let's create a package for it. Name it and then the main class. Let's call it the same. Give it the same name as the project, AnimApplet. Of course, this is gonna be extending JApplet, and it will override two method, which is init and paint. We gonna run this. The applet doesn't do anything right now, but what I get from running it is that the configuration, so I can edit it and change the size of this to be 600 by, let's say, 400. Excuse me. I need the, what is it, line number? By the way, I'm using VI plugin with the IntelliJ, so my editing might be a little weird. So we want to create an animation. This is what we do. This is what I usually do. I would let's first create a new thread. Give it and start it. When the thread start, we want override the run method. In a run method, we would just loop through the animation. So we need an attribute called animation done. Let's put it right there. This would have to be boolean. And we repaint it before we sleep. before we give it a delay. Update animation, repaint and delay animation. So we need two methods for it. This first one is the update animation. The second one is delay animation. The delay animation, which is sleep for about 30 milliseconds, and we'll surround that by the statement by try and catch. This will infinitely loop until the animation done is actually through. So it will call update and repaint. Essentially repaint we just call paint. So let's say we set color, right? Let's give it green color and fill a circle. And 100 and 100. Now let's run it. We don't see the animation yet, so let's animate it with the expanding the width and the height, probably. So we just have the variable called width and a height. Initially this guy will be 200. 200's a little too big, so let's say 100. And in the update animation we just add 2 to it for both the width and the height. If we just set a limit to it, that way we won't go over the wrong screen. So let's change this to be W and H. Let's see what we have so far. We have expanding circle. So if we want the expanding circle to be centered around the middle, this is what we do. We just give it center X and center Y. Originally center X and center Y is at 200. Then when we draw it, we need to subtract by half of the width and half of the height of the circle, which essentially be the same. That's what we have. If you try this and run it on your own machine, you will see a lagging animation, meaning it flickers a bit. And if you look closely to the the circle, you will see the jagged edge. Anyway, you need to try it to see it. So let's now give a circle an actual attribute. There's no width and height in the circle, only the radius. And to see the lagging animation, I'll just show you that if we run if we have many circle to animate, we're gonna have problem displaying it. So I'll just make this a new class, call it a circle with those attributes. So initially what I need to have is I need to have a list of circle called circle and initialize it. I want to create a new array list of circle. And we want to create a new circle and add to the list. New circle. So every time we call a new circle, we wanna random. This is the constructor. We don't need it to be public, so we just say center x random from, I set the width of the applet to be 600, so I want a random from 0 to 100. I need a random object. Let's create a new one there, and from 0 to 600. The height is from 0 to 400, I believe. The radius should be no less than 10, and add it up to 30. So, and each time we update the animation, we're gonna create a new circle and add to it. When we display an animation, we want to get each circle C from the circle and draw it. C dot center x, C dot radius, C dot center y c radius, and 2 times the radius. Okay, let's run this. Okay, it doesn't grow, so we want each of the circle to expand itself. We need a method here, expand. Okay, so expanding mean the radius, we will add the radius by 2 pixels. Now let's run it again. We need to call it on the update. So for each circle, C in the circles, C dot expand. Now run it. If you give it a try, you will see that circle, you will see the animation is not that smooth. So let's limit the number of circle in the circle a bit. So we're gonna be adding the circle if the circle number of circle in the list is less than 30. You want to add a new one, and else you want to remove the first one. Okay, that should be we should be able to limit the number of circle inside the list. Next, we want to be able to tell which one is which. If we keep it the same color, it will be hard to tell. This is where we need color for each circle. So and the color is new color, giving it 255, 256 actually. Next int will return an integer between 0 and one number less than the one we're giving it. So in this case, this one would give a random number from 0 to 255. That's exactly what we want for the red, green and blue component in the color. Now we need to give it color before we fill the oval. That's it. Now when we run, we should get the animation. My start faster flicker. I don't know about yours, you may need to try in your machine. So we need to get rid of this flickering animation. Let's see, first there is a rule for the animation that if you want to paint to go faster, you need to put the painting stop inside an update method, and then in the paint method you simply call update. That's one rule. Let's see how it goes. Okay, that still doesn't help that much. And if that still doesn't help you that much, you can use a technique called double buffering. To get a double buffering, you need an image. Basically what a double buffering is that you're doing the draw operation onto a graphic before you blend or transfer the image onto the graphics on screen. So we calling the image to draw on, it's a back buffer image. In this case I'll call it off screen image, and a graphics that we get it off the screen image. Let's call it off image and off G. And we need to create the image. Where to create the image? Let's create it inside the update. If the off image is no, then off image create image. To cover the whole thing, we need the width and height of the applet. So we just call get width and get height, and then we can get the off-screen graphic by saying off image.get graphics. So everything is done here. We need to be doing it with the off-screen graphic before we transfer that off-screen, before we transfer all of that onto the graphics that we want to update by draw image off image. Now that should do it. It's a little better. Actually, it's much better. Anyway, you need to try it. It might not capture it in screencast. So if you look closely to the circle, that's one more tip I can add it to you. If you look closer to the circle, you're gonna see the jagged edge of the circle. If you really wanna fix that, and you can try that by setting the off-screen graphic to be graphics 2D. How do we do that? We can do that by saying of G. We can cast this to be graphic study. Let's do it here. I haven't tried it, so that should do it. Let's do some jagged edge, but I don't get any error, so that's fine. To set the smoothness of the circle, we set it by set rendering hint and give it a key rendering hint dot key anti-aliasing and turn that on. Set the rendering hint, set the anti-aliasing to be on. This is how you do it. So this should be fine and should get rid of the edge circle. Anyway, you need to try it yourself to get a smooth animation of the circle. Anyway, that would be it for now. I reaching about 30 minutes now, so hopefully you get a thing or two from this video, and I'll thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.